Hi there and welcome to my 12th tutorial on Visual C++ 2010 Express Edition, and in this tutorial I will talk about functions. So what is function? A function is basically some kind of procedure in which you basically create some kind of statements like if statements, case statements, loops, even variables and such, and it is only executed when necessarily called. Only when you call the function, it's only executed then. Otherwise, the program will not see it. I can say it like this. So it's like not existent until it's called. Okay, so how do you create function? First of all, you need to declare it, like you do with variables, and then you write it like you do with your main. So you do actions and stuff like this. So where do you declare it? The function is declared in your general section or global scope, global section, which is just over main function or under namespace, using namespace. So you can you can create your function here and declare it. And how do you declare a function? So first of all, you have a type of a function like a void. Then you have a name like subfunction, and then you have just two brackets and semicolon, like so. So this is the declaration statement. It basically creates a function, and then you have to put some kind of stuff to it, like you do with your main. So this is how you create one, declare it, and furthermore, you just write below. Sorry, you just write below your main, create like a function for the actions. So again, void subfunction. Open and close brackets, but this time I don't close it like I do with the declaration statement, but just like your main, open and close curly brackets, like so. And this is a function. Whatever you put inside, it's only read when it's called from the main, for example, different function. Okay, so let me put some kind of code in here first, and then I will show you how to call it. So let's have string. Let's say name. Let's name. Okay. Let's put it, and well, see, I will not make it some kind of difficult coding. It's just waste of time. So your name is something like this. Okay, so basic function, nothing to do really with any sort of statement, if statement, something like this. It's just basic procedures. And even if I run this now, you will see that it doesn't print out anything. It just opens and closes. And that is because I didn't call it, as I said. And to call the function, you basically write the name of that function in your main, for example, and then brackets and semicolon. That's the call statement. So sub function. Yeah, that was correct. And sorry. So like this, you just basically write the name of the function with the brackets and semicolon. Now, when I run this now, you will see the output. Let's write the name, and you have the output then. So basically the function works now perfectly fine. It's called here and executed after the call statement. So that's the simple function, and that's nothing really useful, I would say. And another way to use a function, it's much more sufficient, I would say, and because you can transfer actually the variables, for example, from main to this function and use this variable for different purposes like calculations, different checks, for example, and so on. And return it even, or just basically print out something or something like this. So how do you do this? In your main, for example, you have variable which you want to use in your sub function. So let's have string. String. Let's have string color. I'll see out the message, yeah, and need to correct this one. Okay, so basic string with a message, then cin, and something's wrong with my O. Okay, so basic string with a message and input statement from the user, and now the function is called. Now if I want to use this variable in this function, you will notice if I want just to write it like so, for example, equals, I don't know, n, even, doesn't matter, you will notice that it doesn't work. It's undefined and basically it won't work. And why is that? Because the variables which you declare in your main or in different functions are local. It means the variable which is local is used only by that function or this one. So you can basically use it in different function until you transfer it. So how do you transfer it? In this bracket, you will specify which variable you want to transfer, or variables. You can transfer multiple variables, but you also need to create a new variable which will hold this data from this one. So basically I need to create the same type variable with, well, different name, it will be great. So string, and let's call it CL just for short. I also need to declare it here the same way I did in the declaration statement. So both those should contain the same string name and type. Sorry, but also I need to specify which variable data I want to transfer. So I will choose color. Now, as you can see, well, I can delete this one. It doesn't. As you can see now, there is no errors. And if I use CL, well, if statement, I will do if statement. So if CL, let's say equals, and green, then something happens. Let's say cout. Something like this, let's say. And otherwise, cout and I like different color, for example. Okay, so two examples. If it's green, then I will have this message. Otherwise, if it's different, some kind of string, it will display this message. And now I will show you how this works. So basically I'm asked for the input, let's say red, and the function is called, and the second message is displayed and says I like different color. Now if I rerun this and I put green, I like green too. It should be too. Excellent. Nevertheless, that's how it works. So basically this variable data, whatever is inside, is transferred to this one then, and I can use it freely throughout the function. So this is the most efficient way of using functions, because basically you can take some variables, some data, transfer it, do some kind of thing not considered in main code, and just go back, return stuff, and do the further code. That's it. Also you can return, but that won't work with a void function. A void function does not return anything, and if you want to return something, you can return variables and numbers, anything probably. And you need to specify different type of function, like int or string. Wait, come on. Now this function is integer function, and I need to return something. For example, 0. Well, if I say return 0, the function doesn't return anything. It just like a default statement for returning nothing. And if you want to return something else, for example, return the string, but this is the int. It just just want to tell you how this works. So if you want to return the string, you say, for example, you want to return CL, and if you return a CL, you also have to have a variable here assigned to this function. So for example, equals color equals subfunction. And of course this is not well, let me just change it. Okay, so now it's the string function. Let me run this. Well, actually you won't see any difference. It will return this value, but I haven't changed it. I haven't changed it anyhow, and therefore there's no point to it. But actually it will work. It will return this value. It will save this value then, or string, and it will save it in this variable. Then you can, for example, display this variable. So if I, for example, change it, let me just change the code a bit so just show you how this works. So CL equals red. Just to change it, and let's put it here, C out, like this. Okay, so I will input some kind of color, green, let's say, and it will output red. As it changes, then return CL, and it prints it here. So this is how the return statement works, and basically that's pretty much about the functions. As I said, you can also do the arrays, but I will show you that later on actually, and in different tutorial. I mean, and well, you can try different variables and different types of the functions, as well as more than one function. You can also do something like this, have another function here, for example, and you can call this function from this one, and this one is called from here. So you have like a chain or something like this. And so there's lots of possibilities you can do with functions. This tutorial ends here. As always, visit my webpage and YouTube channel for more tutorials on programming. I hope you like this tutorial. If you really like this, just subscribe to my channel. I would love this. And I will see you next time. Bye.